If a guy does not pay on the first date, you need to tell him that his pants are too tight and he looks provocative.
I love that. That's a good one. I should have. And they actually were.
Welcome, everybody, to the Not For Nothing podcast, hosted by the dynamic duo Christopher Michael and Ashley Maland, where they delve into life, love, relationships, and personal growth. Be sure to tune in every week for a refreshing take on life's most important lessons. So, we got Mac Lawson here with us today. Mac's got some interesting views on men and women in the world.
Oh, very nice.
One video in particular that I wanted to discuss with her, she actually put an Instagram post up that Ashley, my co-host, so nicely sent to me and said that she believes that men should be homeless. And I wanted to dive into that a little bit. It's a pretty interesting view that you have there.
Well, you know, I don't think that men should always be homeless. I just think that men should be homeless for a certain amount of time because it will teach them things like how to be more masculine.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, like survival skills. So, for example, and also just like how to value and appreciate things. I think when you go through something like homelessness, you come out a better person. And men really suck these days. I don't know if you agree, but I think if they were to go through something really hard like homelessness, they would come out more appreciative.
So all the wars, everything that men fight and go through.
Well, men don't really fight wars anymore. No. I mean, there are some men that fight wars, but it's pretty much like, I don't know what percentage is actually in the military. The men who fight wars, they don't have to be homeless.
Right.
Just the ones who don't have to go to war. I think they should have like a mandatory year of homelessness.
Not just throw them out in the middle of the woods and call it a day.
That could work too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they learn how to hunt. They learn how to build things, how to work together, things like that.
Yeah.
What if we just said women were spoiled and entitled and we should stop all men from buying drinks, dinner, or anything else supportive of a woman in this world?
Well, I do agree with that as well.
Oh, do you? So at least you're equal opportunity.
I don't agree with that.
There's no discrimination, at least.
Well, a lot of women these days, they don't know how to cook. They have never used an iron. They don't know how to clean. And women aren't as smart as men, you know?
That I'll agree with.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much 3 weeks out of the month, women are smart. But then there's like 1 month where women are just like a little slow because of their hormones.
Right.
So, yeah, women can't really measure up to men, but then they act like they can.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ashley, how do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, that's scientifically false. So let's just start there.
I don't know about that.
It is 100% it is scientifically proven that a woman's brain functions quicker than a man's.
Except for when she's on her period.
Well, I disagree with that too. Because actually, while we might be a little bit more emotional during that time of the month, we're actually using more of our brain.
To not cry.
Well, I do a lot of crying. So I'm definitely not using it to not cry.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, in general, during that week, women should just stay in the house and not be allowed to leave or work.
Really?
Yeah, I think that they need it.
How do you get to feel this way about men and women? Just out of curiosity.
Just observation.
You seem to have very little respect for both sides.
Well, no, I have a lot of respect for them. It's just I just observe things, you know?
Oh, yeah. What have you observed exactly?
Just men are bitches and women are just generally not as good as men.
So, wow, men, generally speaking, all men are bitches.
No. Most men.
Most men.
Yeah.
Okay.
And most women are bad at driving.
Okay, listen.
Well, most women are bad at driving.
I'm not going to disagree on that one.
They are.
Okay, I'm not a good driver. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
Especially the 80-year-old
I'll admit
grandma.
You know who are good drivers? Transgender women.
Are they really? Mm-hmm. They're phenomenal athletes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make great swimmers, basketball players.
Oh.
These days, yeah.
I honestly think that the only women that should be allowed to vote are transgender women because they do have that, chemical composition in their brain that men have that makes them smarter.
Because they are men.
Because they're men who transitioned into women. Right. That's fine. But their brains work better than women and they don't have the hormone fluctuations that make them all moody and,
But you know what? I actually disagree 100%. I think that women would be better at voting. I really do. Have you ever heard that if women ruled the world, there would be no wars? There'd be no wars. They might be revengeful in times, but listen, women have empathy that men just seem to lack. And most women, unless they're psychopath, sociopath or narcissist, they tend to be more empathetic to that. And
except for the women who get abortions.
Ooh. Ooh.
Do you really want someone emotional though with their hand on the nuke button?
I actually agree with you on that. I think that women would be better at voting than men because women would remember all the things that the politicians did wrong and they wouldn't forget.
I'll agree with that. Women definitely have long memories.
Whereas I feel like men just forget. They're like, oh, once the new campaign comes out, they forget about what the politicians did last time, to fuck them over. But women would 1000% remember. So actually, I think that you're right. Maybe women should be the only people that are allowed to.
I don't know. I know a lot of men that are holding on to stuff from the past. Yeah. I know a lot of spiteful, jealous, envious, revenge-seeking men myself.
I will say to a degree, men have become pussies. Honestly.
Yeah.
To a degree. Some of them. I'm not as general as you say it, I feel like, but there's definitely been an uprising bitches throughout the male population in this world over the last 5 years.
What do you guys think caused that?
Oh, man. Just a whole ton of fucking bullshit. I think they were just very soft. I think they came up from backgrounds that just where their parents just were not as tough on them as ours were on us. I don't think they ever had to struggle for anything. I don't think that they've ever been in a fucking fight. Social media, everybody hides behind a computer. Nobody knows how to say anything to your face anymore. All
I have a
shit
theory
that made men tough has dissipated.
I think that as women have become more powerful and have been given more rights, men have receded a bit, like in responsibility, in maturity, in being a provider and, being a leader. They're not stepping back per se, but notice that as women become more of like more independent, men become softer. You ever notice that? Like they don't have to do the things that before was a requirement as a man. Like in the 1950s, it was a man's duty, right, to lead a family, to support the family.
And beat his wife.
And beat his wife for sure, which thank God we're, I would say we're coming out of that, but I don't know that we are.
Well, maybe if more women were beat, they would be less of a slut. They'd be less sluts.
Wow. What do you think? I don't know. She might have. No, I don't know.
Honestly.
She might have something there.
I think the beating is what would make someone promiscuous because it's like, you know what?
They beat the slut into them?
My thing is like, did you know the prohibition was like led by women? Or it was pushed, or I don't want to say it was led by women, but women pushed for the prohibition because they didn't want to get beat by their husbands anymore.
Oh,
really?
Less alcohol, less beatings?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Huh. So that was my reason for like for being like, for the feminist movement is because I want to make sure there's alcohol.
I really need to know where you get these points of view from. I mean, sometimes I can't tell if you're serious or joking around, like tongue in cheek.
I mean, I'm serious.
Are you? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, I think your views got a little skewed over the years. I'm kind of curious as to what experience in your life has made you feel this way.
Well, I just like to drink.
So that's what it boils down to, just alcohol and beatings?
No, I don't want to get beat. That's what I'm saying. One time I got beat and the way I got over it was by drinking. So,
I always say the best way to heal is just to forget about it, to get so drunk that you don't remember what happened.
You find a lot of peace at the bottom of a bottle.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you really though?
Temporarily.
I know a lot of people at the bottom of a bottle that would disagree.
Yeah, it's momentary, but it's there. It's that it gives you that little bit that you need, that little break.
Right.
And then reality starts to set back in. Hardcore, but
It not only sets back in, but then you feel even worse than you did before.
Yeah, hangovers suck. They do.
Yeah, they do suck.
They do.
Yeah, I give alcoholics a lot of credit, actually. I don't know how the fuck they wake up hungover every day of their lives.
Yeah, that's like a commitment to be an alcoholic. You got to really commit to hating yourself.
Yeah.
You do? 100%.
Yeah. Because think about it. Every single day you wake up and you're like, yeah, I'm just going to kill myself a little more today. But it's like a slow burn, Yeah. At least get some guts and just jump off a building.
Yeah, cirrhosis of the liver. Why not?
It's genuinely, you're poisoning yourself. So
it is.
It's a pussy suicide.
What would be a man suicide?
Probably alcoholism. Well, it depends on what kind of man.
Yeah, true.
Is he a pussy or not?
Oh, so different.
Well, if he is.
No man that's like not a pussy is probably not going to kill himself. Because when men aren't pussies, they just fucking kill it at life,
Yeah. I
think it takes balls to do that. I think it's, you got to be a real man to pull the trigger.
You think so?
So let me ask you a question. What do you think outside of men and women?
Yeah.
As
what else are there?
Individual people.
Like animals?
I'm saying collectively.
I was kidding.
The dating environment in this world. What are your views on that?
In which aspect?
just how it's going. You know, men playing women, women playing men, playing games, all the bullshit that comes along with it.
Well, I think that if women would just start to accept cheating, I think that there'd be a lot less dating problems. I think a lot of the problem is that before women had rights, you just had to just deal with it. Like if a man cheated on you, you're like, oh well, you know, he pays for the bills. But now that we can pay our own bills, it's like if a man cheats on you, you can just leave him. And that's why relationships keep falling apart.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, God forbid that people have accountability.
I know.
You know, I would hate to live in a world where a man is held accountable for his actions. That would be so sad for them.
Well, we are living in that world, and that's why men are single.
Yeah. I mean,
Due to lack of accountability?
No, because they're being held accountable and they do a lot of shitty stuff.
Yeah, they do.
And that's what's tearing apart the nuclear family is.
Yeah, but we're only focusing on the small percentage of men in the world that are complete and utter douchebags. I would actually say that more men in the world are probably better, not of the douchebag kind. And then there's a smaller percentage of men that are. And they seem to always find a good woman to betray or do something shitty to. And I don't really know why.
No, it's because a lot of the good women are stupid.
Well, you think good women would go after good guys, right? But the thing is, I feel like a lot of women like that kind of, you know, tough guy, too cool. Instead of just going for
here's
a nice,
the deal.
sweet guy who, you know, does nice things.
Let's just, for the sake of being funny, say that that's true, that women really are just stupid and that's why it happens to them.
I'm not saying they're stupid.
At what point do you just say to men, you know what? There are no rules for you. It's the woman's fault because they're too stupid. They'll deal with it. They're too stupid. Don't hold yourself accountable. Do whatever you'd please. Do whatever you want. Cheat. Go get a prostitute. Go do all of this. Beat her. Do whatever you want because she's stupid. So like at what point do we go, hey, you know what? Maybe you should actually be a man. Maybe you should grow up. Maybe you should be mature. Maybe you should actually learn some self-discipline.
Well, we can't say that because we're women.
Well, I will.
But women can't say that to men because women are second and men are first.
No.
But a man could say that to another man, like, hey, grow up. But I could never say that to a man because that would be overstepping my boundary.
So you don't think women have the right to tell a guy to grow the fuck up, especially if he's mistreating her?
No, because, well, women come second, except for when we're giving birth, which is only usually, you know, it could be an hour, it could be 2 hours.
Oh, so in that event, women come first.
Yeah, like for the day that you're giving birth, I feel like you should be able to tell your man anything that you want. But other than that, like he's doing everything for you.
What?
So
that's actually not true. I don't know very many that are doing everything for a woman anymore. I really don't.
Yeah, chivalry is dying slowly.
Chivalry is dying. I got to be honest with you. The dating game, the past couple years for me, it's been really, I've paid for a lot of dates as a woman. I've paid for a lot of dates as a woman.
That's so wild to me.
And here's the thing. I offered, so, you know, but that's when you go, hey, no, I've got this, right? As a man, it's your duty to say, no, I've got this. We're good.
I agree.
They don't.
I agree. I actually agree with you on that. That's really gross.
That's really gross. I have a view on this, though. Why offer something disingenuous? Like
I'm not.
I believe.
I paid for it.
I believe that it is a man's job to take care of the woman in his life. Wholeheartedly, I'm a traditional viewed guy.
No.
But what I do, I get it. You're saying you do.
I was genuine. It's genuine, but here's the point.
But then you get mad when they say, no,
I don't get, no.
Sure, take care of it.
I don't get mad when a guy says, oh, thank you. That's awesome. But there's still like a fine line between where you let a woman offer out of the kindness of her heart, but at some point you say no. You don't say yes every freaking time.
Well, is this the same guy or different guys?
Different. Let me tell you about this.
So they get one time each.
I went on a first date with a guy from Hinge, right? Went on a first date. We went on this hike and he's like, let's get, you know, like some food in the middle of it because we were kind of like in an area that's like a big park and whatnot. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Sounds good. I had forgotten my purse in the car, right? Like I had like a little backpack purse or whatever. Right. I forgot it in the car. Didn't think anything of it because we were on a hike. I didn't know we were going to stop for food, but he's like, let's get some food. From that point on, we still had like a 20-minute walk. For 20 solid minutes, he went on and on and on about how he would never pay for a woman on the first date.
Wait, what? Okay, in that situation, this is what you should do. If a guy does not pay on the first date, you need to tell him that his pants are too tight and he looks provocative.
I love that. That's a good one. I should have. And they actually were, to be clear. But I was so uncomfortable because here I am, I'm starving, right? Didn't know we were going to stop for food, or I probably wouldn't have forgotten my purse, right? But also, I don't have my purse with me. I can't pay even if I want to. So what am I supposed to do? Sit there and watch this guy eat? So we get there and I'm like, look, I'm going to be real with you. I don't have my purse with me. And now I'm really uncomfortable. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. He's like, it's fine. I'll get it. I could tell he didn't want to. I got a side salad for like $3. He got like 3 plates. And he offered me like a bite of something. I was like, that's all right. No, thanks. I'll pass.
But see, that's what I mean. Like, men are just bitches these days, bro. As a woman, how can you respect that? You
I can't.
Respect that.
I never saw him again, just to be clear.
See, and would you feel good about him being homeless? Because I would.
Maybe not homeless,
For a year.
but,
Homeless is rough.
maybe not homeless, but he certainly wasn't raised right.
Well, he could just work his way out of it.
He said this was what his excuse was for it. He says, I'm going to school to be a doctor and I'm spending a shit ton of money to do this. So I'm broke. Why should I have to pay for a woman's everything if she can pay for it herself?
That's a good point.
I'm like, why should you be on a date if you're broke? That was my point.
Yeah, irresponsible.
Well, he's just
to say
gay.
the least.
I think he might have been.
He's just gay. I mean, honestly, like men who want to split the bill, they're just gay. I mean, if they believe 50-50, that they want 50-50 on everything, you know, they want to be penetrated as well. And that's okay. That's okay. But men who are 50-50, they're just gay. I mean, it's okay. We can be gay these days.
Yeah.
Oh.
I will say, men that expect women to pay for things. And listen, and I don't say this to say all men should have to pay for things at all times. But I mean, listen, if you want to claim to be an alpha or a traditional male, or you want to be any of those things, then you take care of the woman in your life. You take care of first dates because you asked the woman out.
Yeah.
You take care of anything that you do with the woman if you love them. And if you're traditional, if you're dating them and you really like them, you do the right thing by them. And if you fail to do that, then, you know,
you're
failing as a man.
Look,
in my eyes.
I don't expect a man to pay for absolutely everything all the time. All right. I have my own money. I'm happy to pay for a movie here and there. I'm happy to get you a drink somewhere. I'm happy to like do my part here and there and incorporate, you know, so you're not paying for absolutely everything. But at the same time, you should want to.
Absolutely.
You should
100%.
at least want to pay for everything.
Well, I think men need to understand how hard it is to suck dick. Like, it really hurts your throat. And like, if I'm going to do that for you, like, you got to pay for my stuff, because no girl really likes that. We're just pretending that we like it to make you feel good. So you need to pay for my stuff if you want me to suck your dick. Like, that's just what it comes down to. And listen, that's why I say if men don't pay for your stuff, they're gay, because you don't have to suck dick. Like, you can just get anal.
Yeah, but when you word it like that, it comes off as prostitution.
No. I'm just saying, like, you know, there's give and take in relationships, and like, I'll take your money and then you can, you know,
Have sex.
not sex, but I'll suck your dick if you pay for my stuff. I'm not saying that like any guy who pays for your stuff, you should suck their dick. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But
What are you saying?
I'm saying if you're my man and you want me to suck your dick, I don't want to do that. So at least pay for my stuff.
So you're saying because it's such a displeasure to you to go down on a man, that you should have everything paid for.
I'm not going to suck my boyfriend's dick if he doesn't pay for my stuff.
Wouldn't
No.
you just rather him do it because he loves you and wants to take care of you, as opposed to him doing it for a sexual favor from you?
Well, yeah, of course. But she's just saying that the guy she went on a date with didn't pay for her stuff. So no head for you.
Oh, so you're saying she should have said that to rebut him not doing it.
Well, just ask his relationship dynamics. Or if you're not going to pay for stuff, then I'm not going to give you head.
Right. So,
That's, yeah. You know what? Let's just turn it into a bargaining system for now on. You know, if
we'll barter. You give me this, I give you that.
for everything I give you, I need you to pay. You got to, we'll start with the appetizer and we'll just work. Yeah.
Yeah, so for every...
I'm just saying, like, my rich boyfriends, I did a lot better job sucking their dick.
Oh, so it gets better as you pay for things now. That's what you're saying?
Wow.
Unintentionally, but yeah.
Wow.
I'm speechless.
Sounds pretty intentional to me.
I mean, just subconsciously, it's like, oh, well, he just bought me this, like, you know, really nice thing. Well, I got to say thank you.
Yeah, there's nothing subconscious about that.
Well, how else are you going to say thank you?
Thank you.
That's not what guys want.
Not today. Not today, it isn't.
Yeah, you know, I got to be honest. It's hard for me to defend you guys out there. You guys are just, yeah, it's a tough world for guys today. They're just not living up to the standard as what they should be.
I would hope a man that is pursuing me would want to pay for my dinner because he sees value in a relationship with me, just in general. But, you know, that's just me. I'm a little old school. I'm a little old fashioned in that. I'd rather him value me first before he embark on sexual favors.
No, of course. But I'm saying if he values you, you're going to want to suck his dick. If he doesn't value you, then you're not going to want to suck his dick. Huh.
It's a weird point. But
it's a good point.
It's a point I've never been introduced to, so I'm not even sure how to respond.
Now you know. You might leave here today and be like, you know what? That was a really good fucking point. Next time a guy refuses to pay for my dinner, I'm going to bribe him with a blowjob.
What I'm saying is if a man appreciates you and shows that he appreciates you by paying for stuff,
right.
I'm going to show... guys don't want to hear. Guys like thank you, but what do guys really want?
Well,
yeah, you know.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of
I
them these
guess.
days really don't care about having a relationship. They just want the cookie.
Yeah, no
They want
commitment.
the cookie and the milk, and they don't give a crap about anything else.
Yeah, see, that makes it harder on guys like me, though.
It
See what I'm
does.
saying? 'Cause
It
so many
does.
fucking girls wind up with these dickheads. And then when I go to try to find a girl, talk to a girl that I'm serious with, she's been fucking scorned by so many assholes that nothing I say is taken seriously.
Yeah, that's true.
It is true.
It is. So what about the men that suffer in the dating world because of all the other douchebags?
I don't know. You guys are going to have to talk to yourselves about that. It's not our fault.
Well, just be homeless for a while and you'll figure it out.
Right. Well, I don't think she's saying I need men like me
No.
to be
I'm
homeless.
just saying, yeah, not guys like you. But I think like women can't hold men accountable. Men have to hold other men accountable. This is a serious point that I'm saying because women, we can bitch and say, oh, women are bitching, but men have to hold other men accountable.
I do agree with that. I do agree.
Really?
That men should hold other men accountable.
Oh, yeah, that.
Fuck yes.
Yeah. That
The
part is true.
problem with a lot of what goes on today with men is that other men don't check them.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you when I was younger, if I saw something fucked up between a guy and a girl, I would check them immediately.
Yeah.
100%.
But men don't. I don't think men do that much anymore.
No, they really don't.
They don't.
No.
They really don't.
They don't. And that's the crazy thing about it is that's our job as protectors, right? Not to say that a woman can't protect herself.
No, but
at
I
the
don't
end
want
of the
to.
day- right. But at the end of the day, you know, a man should be willing to protect any woman that he sees wrong being done to. And if he's not, he's failing himself and the woman as a man.
I always find it funny how men on these red pill podcasts are always complaining about how women are the reason men are like this and women are the reason that men do this and da da da. I just think it's annoying because you're the leader. So stop blaming women for the shit that you can't do right.
Right.
Right. I agree with that.
Facts.
That is true.
And I think any guy who watches red pill podcasts, those guys, like I think that they should go fight in the Middle East.
I don't
They should be
100%
sent out to
disagree.
war.
Put those guys in a uniform
You
and see what they
disagree.
can do.
But no, these, yeah, I mean, it's extreme on both sides. It's extreme on red pill podcast for the women and the men. But how do you stop it? How do you stop the divide? I mean, seriously. Outside of men holding other men accountable, what else are you supposed to do? I mean, seriously, it's out of control at this point.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Therapy.
That's your go-to.
I mean, it's never a bad idea.
It's not.
I
It
think
is not.
I think the problem with the Red Pill podcast, it's a bunch of men that the men that watch it is a bunch of men that don't get laid.
I would agree with that, especially not after on the fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Listen, I watched this. Who was it? What's that guy's name? He's so
Professional
annoying.
Fit.
Oh.
Yes. God.
Oh, hate him.
He's an
hate him.
asshole.
Listen.
Oh, they love OnlyFans girls.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
know what, I have a
I'm sure they do. But he literally got on a podcast and him and this woman went back and forth
Yeah.
for 20 minutes on I'm the prize. No, I'm the prize. I'm the prize. No, I'm the prize. Men are the prize.
He's
no,
gay.
women are the prize. And I was like, who gives a shit? Who cares who the prize is? How about
Right.
we both grow up, be
Yeah.
mature adults, come into a relationship and actually look out for someone and put their
Yeah.
needs first from time to time and call it a day.
Well, let me tell you
Call
what.
it a day.
I agree. But let me tell you what bothers me about guys like that. Guys that have podcasts and platforms like that. They intentionally bring on hordes of women, OF girls, and these guys are fully equipped. That's all they do
Yeah.
every day is figure out how they're going to tear these women
Yeah.
out, right?
Yeah.
So they bring these girls onto the show knowing that they're not equipped. to
I went
really
on one
defend
and
themselves.
left. I went on
Yeah, for
there
sure.
and left.
I don't blame you because they know you're not equipped to handle what they're going to shoot at you.
I want
And
to
they
hear
do
about
it
that when we're done
for
here.
an entire show. It's ridiculous. And then men are the ones who perpetuate all this shit, right? Without men, there's no demand for things like
I would
OnlyFans. So
love
what are you talking about?
See those men actually go up against educated women.
That's
like
what I would
women
like
who
to see.
actually
They don't.
they won't.
No, they
No,
don't.
they actually. So I went and they put me on. Like they set it up a certain way where they look for the most obnoxious girls and they put them in the
Yeah,
front.
absolutely.
Oh, I'm sure. Put Dr. Imani on there, you know?
But they control
No,
the
they do.
narrative. So basically, they take you. Like if you start to disagree with them, they just start to yell at you and then they kick you off.
Well, they bully you.
What?
Yeah, if you
They do.
disagree with them, they just kick you off. So they control, but they won't come on your podcast. So say you wanted one of those guys
Never.
to come on your podcast, they won't do it because they can't control the narrative. So
They have to
Wow, the
control
coward.
narrative. They have to control.
and they're not really rich enough. They always talk about like cheating on women and stuff, but they're not really rich enough and they're ugly. So if you're
Yeah.
gonna cheat on women, like you need to be really rich and you need to be hot. And they're ugly and they're not that rich, so they need to stop saying that they can cheat on women. 'cause
Well,
they can't.
and it's like, that's really a shallow way to look at it. But however, If you're going to be one of those guys, it's like, I'm a hustler. Like my job is to go out and hustle. And so I should be able to have as many women as I want. That's fine if you're actually hustling. That's fine if you're actually successful, which no, it's not. It's still a really stupid, shallow, immature, unaccountable view of life, right? But at the same time, don't promote that you believe in something if you aren't even that thing you believe in.
Yeah, the hypocrisy surrounding these guys is outrageous. I mean, it really is. They sit there and they berate these women about not being traditional and being on OnlyFans sites and all this.
But they're
bullshit.
simping over them behind closed doors.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
They simp over them behind closed doors, and they're not traditional men. So what the fuck are you talking about?
That's great that you want a traditional woman. Be a traditional man.
Seriously, you can't berate someone for not being a traditional woman. You're not even a traditional guy.
Right.
You call yourself an alpha. You're not even an alpha.
No,
You're
they're
a
not.
fucking piece of shit. You're sitting there demeaning and demoralizing and dehumanizing women in public.
Yeah.
How do you call yourself a man? You should never treat a woman like that openly in public. Are you kidding me? Like, when did that become the status quo? When did that become okay?
Because they think it's funny, and because it gets them views.
Well, they have like sexual tension with their moms,
They were on the breast for too long.
No, and they can't get over it. That's why they hate older women too, because it just reminds them that they can't have sex with their mom.
Yeah, maybe that is what it is. Maybe you just solved the problem.
I think so.
I think you fucking cracked the code.
I always think it's funny when these like red pill guys like rip on, because they rip on me on the internet all the time because I'm like older or whatever. And I just think it's funny because your fucking mom's old.
Right.
And she had kids. So what did they ran through? Your mom's ran through.
Yeah. But
Wait a minute.
But that's the crazy thing. Isn't that wild though? These people have they have mothers. What do you think they're like? I always say
they clearly don't care about their mothers.
No, but what I'm saying is when these guys troll the podcast page and they leave comments, I'm like, well, how would your daughter or your mother feel?
Right. Yeah.
Like seriously, to see you acting like this, to see you talking to women like this, like you were raised by a woman, you fucking jerk off.
Yeah.
Like what's wrong?
Some
with
of
you?
them were. I mean,
well, I'm just saying. I mean, most of these guys who claim that they had a great life growing up and everything else, so they just it's insane to me. Honestly,
that would be embarrassing.
One of them
infuriates me.
One of them actually made the episode got taken down, but one of them actually said something to me about getting hit. About like being hit or him hitting me or something like that. And the episode got taken down. And then I found out like a couple weeks later, all this stuff came out that he had beat some woman.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't the Fresh and Fit guys. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to like, whatever. But it was a different guy. It was a different red pill guy. And then it all came out that he had like beat this woman.
Coward.
Like, surprise.
So cowardly. It is like my life's mission to like expose every abuser that walks this earth. That is like my mission. And my hope is that one day, like all this stuff happening in Hollywood right now, I am so happy to see it because it is time. It is time to expose these people. Like, I wish you would say who he was. I wish you would put it on here, but
if there was anything,
I understand that you can't.
If there was anything in the world that needed to be Me Too'd, it's these red pill podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, I guarantee every one of them have absolutely zero self-control, like zero over their emotions, over anything.
No, what bothers me about, I mean, they complain about women being gold diggers, right? Like, then just don't fucking date them. Like, you don't need to shit on
Which is
like
weird. Look around. Like,
Well,
women are supporting themselves more than ever.
Right.
No man who's rich, truly rich, thinks any woman is a gold digger. It's only poor men that think a woman is a gold digger. Because if you're actually rich, you're just like, oh, she likes me for my money. That's fine.
That's true. It's funny. Interestingly enough, one of the guys I dated that let me pay for things more often than I should have was also one of the ones that was like, yeah, I just don't want to end up trapped with a woman that just wants me for my money and just wants to use me. And I'm like, oh, you don't have to worry about that.
Right. There's no fear of that happening.
You're not going to have to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, men that make money, they don't care about women who like money. Yeah. I make money and I like money, and I like men who make money and like money. So,
well,
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Most women are fairly transparent about it, right? So it's not like you don't know they're hiding their intentions from you.
Some women are fine being broke. That's fine.
Yeah. Not you though.
No.
At any cost.
I mean, I don't really need to go to any cost, but I'll brush the edge of it.
What would you put up with to be with a really, really wealthy man? Would you put up with more from a wealthy man?
If I could have the pool boy, he could do whatever he wanted.
Oh, so
let's say that's not the rules though. The rules are he's wealthy, he gets to do what he wants.
But you get
what all would you put up with, or would you walk away?
He's not going to know about the pool boy.
Well, now you're cheating.
Okay, but again,
he's cheating.
But the point is, what would you put up with? if a man was wealthy enough?
Like 3 inches.
Oh, it's not where I thought this was going to go.
I knew exactly where she was going with it. It is a reasonable question, though. So what lengths is
I dated a
someone willing
really,
to go?
yeah, well, not that long if he has enough money.
Seriously, though, what would you be willing to put up with? Like outside of his, a smaller than average penis, what else would it be? Could you tolerate cheating if somebody's wealthy enough? Like, can you do
If
that?
I didn't love him, yeah, sure, go cheat, my guy.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I'm just going to hire a Hispanic pool boy who's about 27 and pay him really good.
Come twice a week.
with your
3,
husband's
4
money.
times a week. I use the pool a lot.
Oh, Mac, you're the best. You really are. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they have platforms. I know why they have platforms, but
Well, because men who don't have sex are angry at women. So that's their, and those guys that follow me too, and they get really angry. And then once I talk to them and stuff, then they're like, oh, I actually have a crush on you.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. I sometimes FaceTime my trolls just because I'm bored.
What?
Yeah, I'll sit there and FaceTime them until they answer. And then finally, like, I'll get them to answer. And they're like, oh, you're actually really hot.
really, they just break down the other way like that?
Yeah.
Chumps. What a bunch of chumps.
Yeah.
They can't even stand behind their own fucking core values.
Oh my God.
No.
But that's the whole point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. It's just funny to hear it from somebody that's actually what goes down.
Do you feel like men treat you differently because of your OnlyFans?
The only thing I don't do any nudity on there.
Okay.
I just do so I have some implied nudes and whatever, but yeah, before they realize that I don't do any nudity, yeah, for sure, because they just assume that I'm like doing porn.
What?
And for sure. Once people hear OnlyFans, they just think porn star.
There's a big stigma to that.
But I got on it as a comedian. So, and then I was like, oh, and I can sell this and like feel fine about myself. Not that I actually support porn stars because some people need to jerk off. So if you have never jerked off before and then you hate porn stars, that's fine. But if you've ever jerked off and you hate porn stars, what did you watch?
Right. How did you learn?
But do people treat me different? They treat me different once they realize how much money I'm making.
Wow.
Asked me to split bills, asked me to buy them flights. I had one guy, fucking beautiful, 6'3" football player. Like, sorry if he watches this, has a great job, and then learned how much money I was making. Asked me if I would fly him out somewhere. Like,
really? Why do you even disclose how much money you're making now?
I didn't tell them exactly, but they kind of get the gist.
Right.
Eventually, yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
It makes me sad, and no offense to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean this offensively. It makes me sad that we live in a world where people will pay more to see a woman half naked. You don't even get nude. So let's start there. They would pay more to see a woman half naked than they would pay a police officer or a fireman or a school teacher.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
It's sick.
I agree with that. I'm just hacking the system, dude. Like,
No, I'm not mad at you for it.
Yeah, if
I'm not mad at you.
If teachers were paid well, I'd probably still be teaching.
Right, no, I mean, I get it.
Like, here I am on OnlyFans.
Yeah, you monetize what you're doing. I get it. I'm not saying, it's not a judgment. I'm just saying
I agree
it makes
with
me
that.
sad that we live in that world.
It's so upside down. Yeah, for sure.
We live in a capitalist society, but at the end of the day, if you think about it, people are willing to spend more money on a lot of stuff besides, like the police force.
Well, and what I'll say
it's always been that way, whether it be for sex or, big pharma business.
and
anything.
even including our military. A girl on OnlyFans is making more than a person in the military giving their life for the country that they live in so that we can have a better life.
It's also because like these girls that are on there, you're not going to see that unless you pay for it. Most of the guys that are paying for it, they're not going to see me implied nude unless they pay for it. But most of them wouldn't be able to like be doing this in person. So they just do it on the internet.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I would think a lot of these guys just have fetishes too.
A lot of them have
If they're
fetishes.
not willing to share with people they're dating or.
Let's
they
face
do
it, it's not just
secretly.
creepy guys.
A lot of them are
No, definitely not.
And a lot of them are ex-boyfriends. I'm not going to lie.
What?
Or other
Really?
comedians. Yeah, for sure. Trying to see me naked.
Like comedians you work with?
For sure.
Do you know that when they're there? Like you can see
Yes,
their
I
video?
can tell. Or
It's
they
not-
tell me, oh, I was on your OnlyFans.
That's not awkward for you when you see them?
It is. I'm just like, well, now you have no shot.
Right. Now you're
'Cause-
fucked.
Because you knew me. You could have tried in real life. And you got on my OnlyFans instead of trying in real life.
Right.
feel
That's
like-
fair enough.
I gotta
worse.
be honest, like, isn't it hard to date? Like when you tell a guy that, doesn't it?
No,
Like,
because I don't do any nudity. But honestly, all the girls that I know that do porn and stuff, they're all in relationships.
really?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, there's plenty of porn stars that are married, kids have
No,
families.
I know, but it's like,
they all have to
I
meet
can't
somebody.
tell you how many times I've talked to a guy that's like, yeah, I'd never date a girl with an OnlyFans.
They're lying.
You're probably right.
I mean, if she's out there, maybe they'll get jealous a little bit.
I mean, guys get jealous anyway.
I think I have like friends that are in like monogamous relationships and they do like OnlyFans, but they don't show their face. And the guys are very supportive, but they do nudity and everything.
Well, that's in that scenario. It's like if you're not showing your face, no one knows who it is.
Yeah.
You know, so they're like, well, hell yeah, bring in the money, baby.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll take the pictures.
And I think generally that's how guys feel about me too, because I'm not like showing too much.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
they're
it's
more accepting of.
You're not necessarily showing any more than most women today are on their page anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Only it's like you said, for free.
Yeah. I'm naturally kind of shy. Well, I'm not shy, but like when it comes to my body, I'm naturally shy. So that's how I like justify it. It's like, you would never see this unless you're paying for it.
Fair enough.
I'm more like, you will never see this unless you earn it.
Yeah.
Well, they are earning it.
Oh, and I'm earning it.
But I mean, I would find it. I mean, a lot of guys that say they wouldn't date someone on OF or any of those sites. I'll be honest with you. I would find it hard for any person who really feels a true connection with someone not to be able to overlook what they do professionally.
I actually saw a story once. This guy, I don't remember what show it is. It's like one of those shows where they can call in and they talk to somebody for advice.
Right.
And he was saying that he had been dating a girl and then they got married and the whole time she had an OnlyFans and he never knew. Right?
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
And then he found out and he didn't know what to do because he was the type of guy that wouldn't date someone like that. And now he's married and finding this out and he was conflicted. Like, do I stay with this woman? Do I? Now this goes against everything that I believe in.
Right.
Well, she lied, so I'll leave her because of that.
And that was the whole point. I was like, look, forget the OnlyFans. It's not even about, at this point, that's not even about the OnlyFans anymore. It is what it is. The fact is that she lied.
Yeah.
She lived a lie for over a year with you, let you marry her, probably knowing you were that type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's
why
messed
she didn't
up.
say it.
That's why that's messed up.
Yeah, for sure. Your whole foundation is built on a lie.
Yeah.
How can you even recover from that?
It's different than going in and saying, hey, I have an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like it or not.
There's a lot of different things you can do on OnlyFans. OnlyFans is a great platform. It's not just for sex work. But I mean, you know, it's definitely on there. I personally support sex work because like I said, whether you make it illegal or legal, people are always going to be doing it. They're always going to be watching porn. If they're not watching porn, they're going to be peeping through. These people are going to be peeping through your window watching you. You know what I mean? It's just always going to exist. It might as well.
So you support it because of that?
It's not a bad point, actually.
No, I mean, it's better to make it something where the woman is, you know, getting paid adequately rather than like, you know, before when it was just porn stars, a lot of these women were being exploited.
Well, think of it. I mean, honestly, if you think about some of the weirdo, creepy guys out there, think about if you didn't have an avenue for them to go down where they could get their fix. They would be peeping through your windows. They might be doing crazy
They're going to do it anyway.
They're going to do it. What? Do what anyway?
If a man has that in him where he would violate a woman's privacy by looking through her window,
Right.
that it's not because he didn't have access to porn.
I'm saying the people that might toe the line are now going to have no avenue other than that.
But it's actually proven that porn only emphasizes that behavior. It actually makes it worse. Do you know that Ted Bundy was a porn addict?
Yeah, I get that.
He actually says,
I know that they have
which let's face it, he was born a psychopath, right? He's a psychopath.
He was.
But he actually contributes a lot of the weird, horrible, awful shit that he did to women because of his porn.
Of course
addiction.
he does, because a man, he doesn't want accountability.
Right, no, I know.
Let's blame the porn stars.
No,
that
I know.
was crazy.
No, I know. I'm saying, like, again, it's a cop-out.
No, but
still,
porn needs to exist. Sex work has always existed. I think it's weird that we stigmatize. Like I said, I don't do any nudity. It's not for me. But I think it's weird that we stigmatize these girls. But then at the same time, we're horny and we go, no, let me open up Pornhub and jerk off.
That's my problem with it is the hypocrisy that surrounds it from men particularly.
I don't like it. I think it divides couples a lot of the time. I think that people are secretively watching it.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And again, it's a lie. It's based around a lie of I don't do these things. And then you find out that there's an addiction there and they're not sleeping with you anymore because they can't get over this addiction of watching other women. But it's like,
but they were probably going to do that anyway.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess but it's like, it's sick because you create these images in a man's mind that a normal woman can't really satisfy, right? Like a normal woman, the further along we get in porn, the more they're doing. Right. The further it goes down the
I agree with that.
Right? And but to the point where it's like...
I learn actually sexual tricks when I'm watching porn.
I'm sure people do. I'm sure they do. Like, but that's the problem. Like,
I learned how to suck dick from watching Lana Rhoades.
But here's the point. we got all these men saying they want traditional women, right? We got all these men saying they want a traditional woman, but they're watching porno girls do freaking cartwheels with God only knows. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. And then we wonder why they cheat.
Listen, when you're going to lie about it, that's completely different. If you're going to lie to your significant other about doing it and doing it on the low, that's different. But at the end of the day, I mean, listen, that's a cop-out no matter how you look at it. If you're a loyal man, if you love who you're with, if you value them in any way, shape, or form, you're going to be true to them. And if that person knows that you do not like them looking at stuff like that, then they shouldn't or they wouldn't. And if they are, they were going to do it with or without porn. They were going to find it some way, somehow, somewhere. I mean, that's just the way I feel about it.
That's how I feel about it as well. But I like watching porn with my significant other. I mean,
a lot of people do. It's not like an abnormal thing.
You know?
It's
impressive. Honestly, you just got to watch Lana Rhoades gangbang and your mind will be blown.
What? What? No, thank you.
I mean, listen, it's not for everybody, obviously. I was never big into porn personally, but at the end of the day, I just never saw the point in just sitting there watching. I don't know. I just never, I would much rather.
Well, you should just sit there and watch it with popcorn.
Well, I mean, typically that's what guys are doing. They're not sitting there watching with not with popcorn, just by themselves. Just, you know, how else are you doing it? You're not watching it with your significant other all the time, obviously.
I mean,
what do you think guys do? They go into the bedroom, they lock the door, and they fucking watch porn. I mean, that's what they do.
I think it's fun.
I can promise you, any guy you've ever dated or ever will date
I'm not an idiot.
Has watched porn.
Just because I don't love it, I'm not an idiot.
Right.
And I'm not judging. I imagine just about every man.
I would rather him watch a video about fucking the babysitter than fuck the babysitter.
That is true.
Yeah.
No, I mean, listen, it depends what someone's threshold is, right? Everybody has different definitions of cheating. So that might be cheating for you. It might be cheating for a lot of women.
I'm not saying it's cheating. I'm not saying that. If it's something that it's like, again, it's about the lie. It's about the truth. If you go into it and you hear that he's like, yeah, I'm into it. Like, let's do it together.
But I agree. It's annoying when guys are like, oh, I want a traditional woman. And then you go look who they're following and you're like, what?
Yeah, don't tell me you want a traditional woman and then pick the woman that's got triple XD tits.
Yeah.
Right.
That, you know, and no clothes on and that is a porn star.
When guys say they want a traditional woman, what they mean is they want somebody stupid that they can cheat on and they're naive enough that
because
they won't
like
get
at that point they're saying, oh, I want a traditional woman. What they really want is that. But then they go for the traditional woman, break her heart in half into a million pieces because.
And then she goes on OnlyFans like me.
All a vicious circle. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, you're never going to stop it. People are always going to watch it. That's just the end of it. It's been around since the beginning of time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, before there was porn, I mean, there was like worse stuff. I think people were fucking more animals.
You're so crazy, Mac, I swear.
I mean, I've heard some stories.
Have you actually heard literal stories?
I've got 2 stories for you.
No, like in history. For real.
This is new.
This is somebody that you know?
No, God, no, thank God. No, I was reading through these court cases that I don't even know how I got them, but I think it was like online. I was reading through, there's 2 that like stuck with me forever that have made me so sick. Like the first time I heard them, I like couldn't eat for like 2 days. So one of them was this officer pulled over because there was a man on the side of the road that there was a dead deer on the side of the road that this man was, and he got put in prison for it. The court, like I read the whole thing. I'm not going to get into the details, but he got caught doing that. You can imagine. Right. Dead. Not even alive, as if there's any, better alternative.
But it's just like a live deer and do that, don't you think?
I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. But that was like 10, 15 years ago. Okay, so I'm sure it happens. But the other one, this one is not about animals. This one is so sick. It makes me like want to vomit. So there was this girl, and she started having issues with her undercarriage. She was just like itching a lot, like it was like getting rashes, and she couldn't figure out what was going on.
Right.
So she goes to her doctor. Her doctor, does whatever he has to do down there. And he leaves the room, he comes back, and he was like, I don't know how to tell you this, so I'm just going to be really clear with you. You have mites down there? And she was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean I have mites down there? How does that even happen? He goes, well, it's one of 2 things. He goes, either you have been exposed sexually to a dead body, or someone has been exposed sexually to a dead body.
Ew.
Come to find out, her boyfriend's parents owned a morgue.
God.
This actually happened. He had been sleeping, like having sex with the dead bodies in the morgue.
So there's necrophilia.
Yeah. They even found out, like, someone had caught him once, right? I don't know why they didn't turn him in. They caught him
cheating's
once.
not that bad. I mean, I would just rather the man cheat on me with
Right?
a live girl.
Right. They had caught him once with, like, having a party with a dead body.
Wow.
Like, he was in there. There was a bunch of beer cans and he was passed out.
She was probably a cheap date.
I bet she was. I bet she was. Our world is sick. What can I say?
It is sick. But you see what I'm saying? Like when people want to find shit.
He probably was broke. He probably just couldn't afford a real girl, honestly.
Well, he had a girlfriend. He gave his girlfriend freaking mites.
That's so gross.
Can you imagine finding that out? How traumatizing that would be to find out.
Give me chlamydia, dude. Like a real man.
Can't you just give me a normal STD?
Yeah.
I mean, jeez.
That would be traumatizing.
It's traumatizing just to hear about it.
Like fresh and fit.
I fucking hate those guys.
Me too.
I swear, I love people that try to defend them. I posted a clip talking against one of the guys, and you got to see the guys. There's like 400 messages on it. Some of these guys come to defense for them. They don't even know who they are. They make these stupid rationalizations as if they're talking and they know the person personally. And it's like, dude, you don't even know
it's
this
hilarious.
guy. It's ridiculous. It's like it's like they're making excuses for someone, and I'm like, dude, you don't even know who this guy is.
And these are guys that have nothing.
What are you talking about? Right.
They just want to live that lifestyle.
It's insane.
But when they actually think about it, these are two losers who make money off of shaming girls.
For what?
That's
for doing the same things they're doing.
For doing, literally
doing the same things.
They're exploiting the girls the same way the girls are exploiting themselves, except the girls are actually making money off of it and going to school and buying their family houses. And
Right.
It's a valid point. It's a valid point.
Listen,
yeah.
I always say, like, women have been exploited since the beginning of time. So the fact that they found an avenue where they can exploit a man and his urges, more power to them. Honestly, I see nothing wrong with it. I really don't see anything wrong with it. And the men that dehumanize them for it, they're hypocrites. Every last one of them.
Well, the men who dehumanize them for it are subscribed.
Yeah, I get that.
Truth.
But as far as they go,
it's funny because they're all like Andrew Tate lovers, right?
They are.
They're all like, we're Andrew Tate.
Well, they want to be like
times
them.
two. But the thing is that Andrew Tate's a millionaire.
Not to mention
Andrew Tate's driving a Maserati.
Well, Andrew Tate was a grifter. It was a grifter until he started getting in trouble, and now he's like all of a sudden reasonable.
Oh.
Well, first off, he's also guys forget that Andrew Tate is like a world champion kickboxer.
Is he really?
Yeah, he didn't get his money from what he does now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was. Are you kidding? He was like one of the best kickboxers ever to walk the planet.
What?
Yeah, people forget where he comes from.
I didn't know where he came from.
He also was on Big Brother.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was.
I didn't know. I didn't have a clue.
He's smart. He knows what he's doing.
He's a very smart guy.
He is a smart guy. I'll give
He's
him
a
that.
clout demon.
Yeah.
And he's nothing like Fresh and Fit. Even though they share similar values, he's still, I think, at his core believes in a traditional marriage.
Yeah, I think he genuinely does.
Yeah,
he
does.
I agree. He says some things where I'm like, what? But he also says things where I agree with him sometimes.
Did you hear Dan Bilzerian just talking about how he prefers one woman now?
Yes.
Monogamy.
Does he really?
He realized how hollow it was. Like,
after he made all of his money off of it.
Yeah.
It's all the same story.
Absolutely. Now he wants to settle down.
Now he wants a real nice girl.
Right.
It's always the same story.
Well,
dude.
let's see who will have him now. You know,
I'm sure there are plenty that will still have him.
You think so?
Yeah.
They won't ever have that
He's
in the
rich.
back of their head.
He's rich.
Yeah,
Let's face it. Like, he's rich. He has yachts,
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see how long he actually stays monogamous, even though he thinks that's what he wants.
I don't think he could. I don't think he just did it for
when
the
you
money.
live an entire lifetime acting that way. I don't know how you go from that to just suddenly you're a good, solid, wholesome man.
I'll be honest with you. The way he does, like, I would imagine that has to get exhausting.
He did
at
say
some
that
point.
in his interview.
It
He
has
said he
to.
just got tired and
has to.
it was so shallow. He woke up feeling like shit every day.
Yeah, eventually it catches. Like, the
he
older
probably
you
just
get,
got erectile dysfunction.
He's like, that's it. The girls aren't doing it for me anymore.
And he just doesn't want to share with anybody.
It just stopped working.
Yeah.
So now he just needs one good woman to just love him for him.
He's getting older.
That's what he's saying.
His libido's going down.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Anyway, I could talk about those guys all day, but they're ridiculous. It's like, can you find something better to do with your time? I mean, seriously.
No, because they can't, because they're not really talented, Like,
no, they're not. You're
that's.
I just want to know how they got so popular to begin with.
Because the internet hates women.
Right.
They're obsessed.
Well, I mean, think about it. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, there's about almost 8 billion people in the world now.
Mm.
So
how many of those men do you think are getting laid?
Well, so let's just even say, like, let's just say a tiny, like 0.5% of them were into Fresh and Fit. And that's such a small percentage. It's minute. Followed those guys. If that many men felt that way, they'd be huge. They'd be one of the biggest shows in the world. Yeah. It doesn't take much to make someone big today.
Men who don't have sex, they either watch Fresh and Fit or get on OnlyFans.
Or both.
Or both.
They watch Fresh and Fit and porn at the same time.
They're like, oh, I fucking hate that bitch. Where's her fucking OnlyFans?
They mute the porn and they listen to Fresh and Fit.
They watch.
Yeah, I was gonna say
a split screen. They've got her getting fucked right there and then getting roasted over there. And they're like, yeah, fuck her. I hate her so much.
Oh my God.
This is not Ashley's style at all.
Very uncomfortable right now.
Come to one of my comedy shows, it's worse.
No, I want to come to a comedy show so bad, which, by the way, would be fun. You got to let us know when your next one is.
Listen, Chris is a fan of OnlyFans. So, you know, like and he's single.
What's your username?
He's also single.
I'm just kidding.
I'm single, but I do not go on OnlyFans. Actually, I've never even seen what the site looks like, to be honest.
I don't know anything about it.
It's my favorite website.
Yeah, I really don't know.
It's my favorite website.
I think it came out at a time where I just wouldn't have gone on a site like that, I guess.
I was so against it until they asked me to go on as a comedian. And then I was on there. And then I went through a break. I was like, I'm just going to use it for the free followers. And then I went through a breakup. And then I was like, let me just see what a picture of my bra would do. And then I made $200 in 5 minutes. And I was like,
done.
It's my new job.
There's that one girl. I don't know if you know. I forgot her name. She makes a couple million a month off her feet.
Really?
Feet pics, yeah. She's super successful. I mean, don't get me wrong. She'll put her body in there, but she's primarily honed in on her feet. She makes millions. I forgot her name. Oh,
the weird desires of men will never cease to amaze me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think foot fetishes have been around for a long time.
I know they have. It's still weird.
It is weird.
I don't care.
I would never look at a guy's foot and be like, oh God.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's more, I'll be honest with you, I think it's more of a male thing. I don't think women have
obviously.
foot fetishes.
I don't know a single woman.
Look at his little hairs going up.
Guys have ugly feet. I can't see any.
But even if they didn't, it's just what?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Damn that ankle.
Seriously.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a nice ankle. Oh, God, I gotta go watch the porn.
But let me ask you a question. I'm serious. What if the guy you were with had a fetish?
I don't know. I will say this. I liked a guy one time that told me he had a foot fetish. And he and his best friend both were obsessed with feet. Okay.
Right.
So we were out one night. I cannot believe I'm talking about this.
All right. Why not?
We were out one night and he took my shoe off while we were sitting down at this table and started kissing my foot. And I have to admit, it was kind of romantic.
Oh, yeah.
What?
But I do draw lines.
Yeah, we're at dinner.
Right? No, we were not at dinner. We were not. It was a bar.
Even worse.
With a bunch of drunk college kids. They didn't care. But my point is just that, okay, that's fine. But it's what goes on after that it's it freaks me out.
Right.
It just freaks me. What do they want you to do with those feet? That's my question.
I don't know.
Where does this go? Have you ever seen, what was that movie? It was a comedy. The guy had ketchup on her toes and he was licking it off. And I'm just
your second date is at the Foot Locker.
Oh, what was the...
Let's get you some really exposing shoes.
It was Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo.
Yeah.
They had the
ketchup. It was so gross. So gross.
I mean, ketchup tastes good.
Yeah, I bet you like it.
So does ranch, honestly.
Oh, don't even put that in my mind. What?
I love this. I'm enjoying myself so much.
That would be like torture. It would be like a torture, a punishment for me. To have to lick anything off of someone's toes.
If they're clean, I mean.
So let me ask you a question. So
it's demoralizing.
Would you have a problem with a guy, someone you love, doing it to you though? Seriously.
Problem? I wouldn't say it's a problem. It would just freak me out so bad I couldn't do it.
Really? Just curious.
I couldn't do it. It would just get too weird for me.
I want you to come on my podcast because you and my co-host will be like, whoa. She talks very often about getting peed on.
Does she really?
What?
Oh, I heard that actually. I did hear that.
We talk about it almost every episode, and that creeps me out, obviously.
Have you ever had a guy pee on you in the shower?
No. What?
So this,
not even in the shower. She talks about just
The only time I had ever heard that, the first time I ever heard that was about Hitler
Oh, really? He would.
So
peeing on his niece that was, or no, it was his cousin, I think, that he married. She was 13.
and he peed on her?
He peed on her. It was like one of his things. And he defecated on her as well.
And they wonder why white people have all these allergies.
Oh man, I'm trying to think who it was. Oh, Dave Chappelle did the skit from for R. Kelly, "Pee on Me."
Oh
So
my
hilarious.
God. I have to watch that.
Oh my God, what a I'm telling you, comedic genius that guy is.
He is. He
I
is.
love him. He gets way too much heat for his comedy. He's amazing.
I like Cat Williams personally.
Cal Williams is funny too.
He is
I like
hilarious.
any comedian who says something fucked up.
Yeah.
The more fucked up, the more I like him.
So you love Dave Chappelle?
Yeah, Dave Chappelle. Anybody who's been canceled.
Well, Dave Chappelle for sure.
You know, I used to love Bill Cosby.
I know you told me this.
And then shit went down. And
You're so disappointed.
I actually remember it when that first came out. I didn't even believe it. I was like, no, not Bill Cosby.
don't
He's a
think anybody-
family man. Not Bill. No. I couldn't believe it.
It just goes to show they're actors. What you see on TV is not who they really are. Look at Pee Wee Herman. He's another one.
Whoa. Let's not go there.
We expected that.
I mean, that was a
I
little more.
expected that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. That one I wasn't like, what?
I always
No.
didn't like looking at him. It just always was like,
He's a
Something's off.
Weird looking dude.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
something's always off. Yeah.
Apparently there is this thing where I have never done this, by the way, but for some reason, some
He's done
guys
it.
like to
He's done it.
try. I don't know.
He wants to.
No, I've been hearing it more
He's
and more.
interested.
Like I've seen clips where guys like
Right.
for some reason to try to pee on
Guys
the
like
girls
that.
they're
It's so
dating
weird, right?
in the shower.
Yeah,
Is that like
it's
a
weird,
thing?
right? Like,
I swear to
he
God.
just keeps hearing about this. It's so
your
strange.
guy was talking about it. That was like
Yeah,
the fourth time I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was talking about it. I mean,
Have you ever had a guy try to pee on you in the shower?
my ex who was abusive.
Really? I don't get like what
That
is
makes
this?
a lot of sense, actually. He's marking his territory.
Yeah.
I've heard it like 5 times
I
now.
wonder if that's what it is. It's like a
Like a marking your territory type thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
a dominance thing.
Yeah, or it's like evolutionary, like how dogs do it. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, anyway. All right, that's a wrap, everybody. Thank you for joining us again. We appreciate it. Joined by Big Mac Lawson today. Thanks for coming. Check out our podcast and stand up at Big Mac Lawson on IG. That's at Big Mac Lawson. As always, you can check us out on IG at notfornothing.podcast, on YouTube at Not For Nothing Podcast, one word, where you can see all our episodes in short form content. Be sure to check it out. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. See you next week.